08459 455 555 is the telephone number, and I would like your calls on this morning. I'm joined in the studio by Stephen Lennon, who's also known as Tommy Robinson. He's the leader of the English Defence League, which was formed 2 years ago. And also joining me is Zafar Khan, who's the founding chair of Luton Council of Faiths and is himself a practising Muslim. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So let me just start with you, Stephen. Why are you demonstrating in Luton tomorrow? What's behind it all?
Why are we demonstrating in Luton? There's a few local issues that we're demonstrating over. Obviously national issues as well. The local issues are, one of them being the multi-faith prayer centre that's about to open in the Arndale, our shopping centre. We believe that houses of prayer and shopping should be kept separate. We do not believe, although they're saying multi-faith, we believe it will be predominantly used by Muslim males. The first thing we done when we heard about this, we approached all the local businesses that are next to this in the shopping centre. Two of them are restaurants. Both said they feel strongly against it. We stood for hours and asked the community what they feel. They felt strongly against it. We then asked the council and we asked the Luton Mall whether they've consulted the community with regards to this prayer centre that they're putting upon in the shopping centre, and they said no, there was no consultation period, they're just doing it. And then another issue is there was land in Hightown, which is the Hightown Drill Hall, which is owned by Luton Borough Council. Many builders were trying to buy it. It was earmarked for affordable housing for the residents of Luton, which Luton very much needs. And it's now been sold by Luton Borough Council to a Shia group within the town for 1.7 million, underpriced. Luton builders, all the builders that were going for it cannot believe it's been bought and it's going to be used as a mosque and an Islamic cultural centre. We don't need that there. The residents don't want it there. The people of the town don't want it there. We want affordable housing in the town centre for our residents. We don't want another super mosque in the town centre. So there's many issues like this locally.
So you're saying this is all about local issues?
It is. It's local issues and national issues.
If it's local issues, then why are there reports that you're inviting groups over from Holland, from France?
We haven't invited anyone. The people feel a need to fly from European countries.
So it's only local people that are going to be there?
I didn't say that, did I? If you listen, I said people feel a need to fly from European countries because they have a problem in their country and they see the English Defence League are taking it to the forefront. We are highlighting the Islamification of this country along with Europe, along with local issues. Local people are being ignored, not just here. It's happening across the country. It's happening in European countries. We're being ignored for the appeasement by our councils to Islam.
Yes, but you're talking about local issues. Yeah. I mean, people in Holland, in Germany, they couldn't give a tuppence toss what's going on in Luton, I'm quite sure. So why are they coming over?
Because they see the English Defence League as bringing us to a forefront. They wish in their countries they had an organisation like the EDL to voice their concerns, to speak about their concerns. So they're forming their own defence leagues in European countries and they're coming to work with us.
All right, Zafar, do you think that the EDL are quite within their rights to protest tomorrow?
Well, this is a free country.
Yeah.
And all of us in Britain have a right to free speech and freedom of assembly. But as citizens, we also have responsibilities. The march tomorrow is born out of ill intention by the organisers.
Which intention would that be?
What do you mean?
And
what do you mean by ill intention?
It's ill. I mean, this is what it means. Ill intention. It is not well-intentioned march.
Why not then?
It is a march to. I listened quietly to you while you were making these accusations and assumptions, and I would expect you to also listen to me.
But it is a fair point, isn't it? Just to pick you up on what you mean by ill intentions.
Yeah.
I mean, are you saying that they are racists? Or
what I'm saying is that the march is extremely provocative. It's going to cause a lot of difficulties for residents of Luton. The march is also not going to be conducive towards good community relations. The march is therefore ill-intentioned in all its manifestations. But coming back to your original question, of course, in a free country, you have a freedom of speech and freedom of assembly. But you also have some responsibilities which organizers of the march should be cognizant of, should have some awareness about.
Doesn't Zafar make a good point there, Stephen? Luton is a town that has a huge amount of multiculturalism. We have a lot of people from different communities here in this town. But if you are planning on having this protest tomorrow, do you not accept that you are going to upset a lot of people? You're going to hurt them.
Because we're protesting against anything to do with Islam, it's ill-intentioned. Let's look at what we've done as an organisation. And you've named two protest groups, the English Defence League Unite Against Fascism. Both them groups are working with the police, liaising with the police. The Muslim Defence League are not, who are also protesting on that day. There's no liaison coming from them with the police. They're not giving their intentions to the police. We are. If you look at what we can do as an organisation, we could have demonstrated at 6 o'clock in the evening. We can demonstrate in Kingsway Park, wherever we want. Our intentions are to come as early as possible, as early as is physically possible when we've got people from travelling from all corners of the country. So our intentions are to come as early as possible.
Yeah.
That we have made sure we do not affect the town centre. We're meeting in Midland Road in Hightown. We've got 200 security stewards working. We are working with the police. We are marching into St George's Square to have speeches, music, and then we're marching out. Where is the ill intention in that? We're not going near any Islamic community, any Islamic shops. There's no ill intention. We are coming to have our voices heard on local and national issues, and if there's an ill intention just because it has anything to do with Islam.
But do you accept that a lot of people will be scared about going into Luton tomorrow?
Yeah, because there's some massive scaremongering going on by our council. There has never been a window smashed by the English Defence League.
So there's no reason for people to be scared?
There's not from the English Defence League, there is not. There has never ever been. Now, if you look at the facts and statistics, there's never been a shop attacked. Why are they telling shops to close? Why are they telling shops to board up? You do not need to board up your shops, not from the English Defence League.
How many people do you expect? How many of your supporters do you expect to turn up tomorrow?
I expect 4,000.
4,000 people?
Yes.
Now, why on earth would people living in Luton, people running businesses in Luton, not at best find that intimidating?
Why is it intimidating?
To have 4,000 people descend on your town.
But look where we're meeting. We come off the train station. We have changed everything. Originally, we were meeting in another estate where people have received death threats. I have brought this with me. This is from Bedfordshire Police, a piece of paper. Information suggests that people within the Islamic community are agitated by the English Defence League demonstration. There is a threat to the life of Stephen Lennon. This threat is likely to be aggravated by Mr. Lennon visiting in Luton. Now, I'm sitting in Luton now, so I'm actually risking my life to talk about what we're talking about. These are what we're putting our necks on the line. I have been advised that it may be appropriate if I leave the area for the foreseeable future. This is a matter for me to decide. My family are under 24-hour police protection. Gurmit Singh had people at his house last night with guns again. He is under 24-hour protection. My cousin was shot at was met outside his house with a shotgun, and we're supposed to believe there is no problem with militant Islam in this town.
But a lot of people will say you're bringing this on yourself.
I'm sorry, but I have not brought people with guns and people's threats against my life on myself by talking about local issues. I have not made terrorists move to this town. I have not made militant Islam in this town. We are just people who are fed up of what's going on. And look what we're living with. Look at this threat. This is in black and white from Bedfordshire Police telling me they want to kill me.
Let's put this out. Let's put this out to the listeners, because at the end of the day, I'm quite sure you would like to hear what people, and indeed you, Zafar, would like to hear what people listening to this programme think. The phone lines are open for you, 08459 455 555. Stephen Lennon is saying that if you live in Luton, there is no reason for you to feel intimidated or scared, because at the end of the day, the way it's all going to be controlled...
The way the English Defence League will be controlled, you should feel scared.
Should be fine.
You should feel scared. Avoid the town centre, because gangs and Muslims are going to be roaming it. But where the English Defence League demonstration is, you have no need.
Listen, don't inflame it. Let's bring Mark into the conversation. Morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Morning. What would you like to say? You're through to myself and Zafar and Stephen.
Good morning to everybody.
Good
morning. Yes, I'm coming down to the march tomorrow. I'm coming down from Telford in Shropshire. I grew up in the Middle East. I first moved to United Arab Emirates in 1978. Moved from Shropshire. My father took a long-term contract in the Middle East. I was 14. I grew up there. Many Arab Muslim friends. I've been travelling back and forwards to the Middle East for 32 years. I've studied Islam. I know the Hadith, the Seerah, the Sunnah. I've studied it continuously. It is a local issue, and one of the problems you've got in Luton, and not only Luton but the whole of Britain. Britain is the biggest importer and exporter of Islamic terrorism, and a lot of it comes from Luton.
So are you saying you're coming to support the EDL?
I'm coming to support EDL in their fight against Sharia law and to stop Islamification of Britain.
But if you're coming down to a town whereby there are a lot of Muslims, do you not accept that you are taking part in a protest that ultimately will upset a lot of people who live here? You don't even live in the area.
Well, I live in an area where it's actually the local headlines of the local paper in the Shropshire Star stated Muslim paedophile rackets. That's not my words. That is the headlines of the Shropshire Star. Muslim, not Asian.
But why are you coming here? Why are you coming here?
Because that is where the march is, and that is where the voice needs to be spoken. We need to air these things. We need to bring this to the forefront, exactly like Tommy Robinson is doing.
But do you ultimately want to upset the Muslim community?
No, we want to go... I challenge them.
Yes, but is marching through a town like Luton, whereby there are an awful lot of Muslims living here, is that not a very, very provocational thing to do?
I don't think so, no. I think that, marching protests have gone on in this country for centuries. You see the riots in Egypt. That would, the police in London with 250,000 protesters and the Poltex riots, it would never happen. You would never overthrow a government in Britain the way that they are over there.
Zafar Khan, founding chair of Luton Council of Faiths and a practising Muslim yourself here, how do you feel about the fact that Mark is coming down? Do you respect the fact that he wants to come down and protest, or do you feel that that he will be offending you?
Well, he's not a Lutonian. I mean, we have many challenges and many problems in Luton, but Luton, on the whole, is quite at ease with itself. Of course, there are problems, and no one is shying away from those problems. But people coming up to this town by trains or by buses or coaches, that doesn't sound very local issue to me.
Do we remember
there are local problems. We should talk to each other about resolving local problems in a sensible and civilized way, not import thousands of people from other parts of the country to create conflict and problem for businesses, for ordinary people, for families. And you see, I had an engagement on Saturday in London to attend a very important meeting, nothing to do with this sort of thing, but I will not be able to use the trains now, because from about 10 o'clock onwards, the railway station area will be, will be full of people who, God knows what they will get up to.
Is Luton not in England? We are all English, aren't we? And these are our towns across this city. These are our brothers and sisters in all of these towns across our city. And if we want to come and voice our brothers and sisters' concerns, we have a God-given right to do that.
It's not a very local issue then. I mean,
Zafar,
you started off with a local issue. This is not a local issue.
No, Zafar,
you are bringing in thousands of people to create conflict in a community which is trying to come to terms with its problems.
Can I ask you, Zafar, are you anti-Sharia?
What are you talking about?
Can I ask if you're anti-Sharia? Can you answer the question? Are you anti-Sharia?
That is not an appropriate question, nor is an appropriate fear. You are just scaremongering. You are scaring ordinary people of Luton.
Hang on a minute.
Simply scaring people.
Can you answer the question?
There is nothing.
Can you please just answer the question?
You are just scaring ordinary people. You are just scaring people.
I'm sorry. I'm going to shut both of your microphones until you stop talking, because I'm sorry. Can we please? Sorry, Zafar, you need to stop talking. This is my programme.
Okay.
I have a question that I'm asking today, and I want you both to address my question.
Gladly established as pro-Sharia law.
Yes, but Stephen, I don't want you to start turning it into your agenda either. Hang on a minute. This programme is all about the people of Luton. This programme.
Law.
No. You may well say
it's scared of. That's what we're scared of.
We are having a discussion this morning about Luton, the people of Luton, and how people feel about what is planned for tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't want you to turn this around and make it about you promoting your agenda.
No, it's not promoting our agenda.
It's very frightening.
We are scared of Sharia law in this town. Are you pro-Sharia law? Answer the question.
This is Britain.
I'm sorry. I tell you what. I'm going to stop their microphones because I'm not having this. If you'd like